Just read the sentence for me.
The letters are dancing.
Okay, then read the dancing letters. Trying to be funny?
Some of the most creative and successful people in the world struggled in classrooms. They could not read and write and struggled with traditional schooling. Richard Branson, he had poor academic performance. On his last day at school, his headmaster told him that he would either end up in prison or become a millionaire. And in 2007, he was named one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Tom Cruise attended 15 schools in 14 years. Today, he's regarded as a Hollywood icon, is one of the world's highest paid actors. He battles severe reading difficulties, even with the scripts, but learned through listening instead of reading. And there are many others, Walt Disney, Alia Bhatt, Jennifer Aniston, who struggled with traditional schooling, but imagined worlds no classroom could contain. So most of us believe that if a child does not get good grades in school, he's either lazy or he's not intelligent enough. But what if we are completely wrong? Today we talk about something millions of children and even adults quietly live with. It's not a disability of ability. Many of them are bright, curious, and deeply creative. Yet they grow up hearing labels like being slow, careless, and weak. And these labels don't just damage their grades, they affect their identity. In this conversation with Professor Veera Gupta, we explore how to recognize these minds early, how to support them, and how to see the child behind the report card. So thank you so much, Veera ma'am, for coming with us here. And as I introduced, we call it a specific learning disability. Can you just broadly explain, where does it start from, or, what are these disabilities like?
Okay. So this term, specific learning disability, is a recent term. Here I will give an example of my own child. We recognize through the school only that she is dyslexic. Okay.
And which class was that?
It was around 2000 year.
No, how old was the child?
She was in class 5th, and I myself, being a teacher, I started looking for this. Some word stuck in my mind, learning disability, though this word was not.
Which year is this, ma'am?
It should be around 2000, I suppose. To this
almost 25 years back.
25 years back. We started finding it out, and even I didn't get, support from my own family. I was told, oh, padhi likhi maa hai, to uska dimag kharab hai. Kuch bhi learning disability word nikal ke le aaye. So I said nothing. I took the child and took her to a clinical psychologist. So even child was very much traumatized. Said, Mummy, you to mujhe pagal ke doctor ke paas le ja rahi hai. I said nothing. It's not pagal ka doctor. I got the report, and it was dyslexic and ADHD. Then we kept sending, school was not really supportive, or you can say knowledgeable. The teachers,
but
except
was
the principal,
she performing very bad till class 5th?
She was performing
average.
Yes, average. I used to be bothered that, that time, the school had a policy that if you don't get 50%, you will not be promoted. Okay. So every time I used to go to the principal and say, you promote, I will take care of her in the next academic year. So she came up to class 8th in any case. So what we did as a parent, we divided the subjects. And we knew that dyslexic child learns the best if it is 101 rather than in a group. Okay. So few subjects my husband took and few subjects I took, and we used to make mind map and videos and whatever was available at that time, videos of few science lessons and all. And
this is which class?
It was in 8th onward.
So 5th you recognized, and
it took that much time for us to. We went for her diagnosis and therapy also to Singapore. And when we started teaching, and so But we were sending her to school as a social ritual.
Okay.
Not for academics. Because we knew that academics, she will not be able to do in a school, whatever.
So only requested the school that continue.
Keep her. And we were teaching. And in class 10th, she got 88%. Then
what were her subjects?
Science. All.
She had science?
Yes.
Like PCM?
No. M we removed bio.
Achha, PCB she had.
PCB. Then 12th. And she was good in bio because it's a picture. You know, bio is all picture. So she was good in biology. So we continued and we didn't, but at that time, CBSE had a rule that you can give up one language. So 3 language, instead of 3 language, she studied 2 language. And I think in 11th and 12th, just 1 language, English. So we removed Hindi in 11th and 12th.
Physics is so mathematical.
But she did it.
She did it?
Mm-hmm. All through picture method. Everything we taught through picture method. And kinesthetic. There's a third one, yes. And she cleared MBBS entrance. She did MBBS. And very interesting incident is there in the first year of MBBS. But her self-esteem became little low because of these experiences, early schooling experience. She is not that confident at that time.
When she graduated
and all. So in first year of MBBS, when they teach anatomy, she was supposed to draw heart. Okay, heart is left side tilted. She did right side tilted. It's again the reversal. Okay, and the teacher was mad. You know, she scolded, and being a low self-esteem, she was very scared. She rang me up and said, "My teacher scolded me," and she was very, very miserable. So I went, she flew to that college and then I talked to that teacher. Then, of course, they are doctors. Teachers are doctors of MBBS. So she understood immediately that this is a dyslexia. She apologized in multiple times. I'm so sorry, I didn't know that she is dyslexic and left and right alignment has to be there. That college became very, very cooperative. Registrar gave concessions time if she wanted extra time for writing paper, and everything went fine.
So today she's a doctor?
Today is a doctor. She went for master's in public health to Johns Hopkins.
Wow.
Again. And she was a doctor during COVID days in LNJP. And after doing Johns Hopkins, she is there as a research director with Johns Hopkins.
Can we have a picture of her?
I have a picture. Okay. I will share it with you. But so, in a PPE kit, she's
beautiful. But today the problem is over now.
Now, this is not a kind of most of the people say that problem is over. See, it's a structure of the brain. Okay. So it will remain as it is. But with the interventions and therapy, you know how I should do it. So you change your buddies to positive buddies than negative buddies. I said in earlier days, a dyslexic child will make memorization as a buddy, not decoding. So if memory is your buddy, it will not support you in later years. Okay? So you got to replace memory buddy to decoding buddy, or focusing buddy, or relaxing methods. So if that happens, the child knows, okay, this will not work with me. I should do this. I should learn it through picture method, video methods, not just oral sessions, and they will be able to.
So it's very important when a person or a parent sees these problems to visit a therapist first and make himself and the child aware.
Yes. If we can say that the same condition was discussed in literature by various terms, like learning disability, dyslexia, or slow learner,
okay,
or developmental disorder. There are conditions like dyslexia, which is very famous term, which means problem in reading and comprehension. Sometimes a child is able to read but doesn't comprehend. So there are few children who can't read after 2 alphabets. For example, if it is neighbor, they will say N-E and they won't be able to speak the full word. Okay, so they are not able to read the full word or sentence. There are few children who will read the word neighbor but will skip off on these words don't exist for them. So they skip or omit. Okay, this is one condition. And there are other who will read the whole thing, but when you say, okay, what have you understood? This 0.
So ma'am, when you say those words like on, to and small words don't exist for them, they have learned those words, right?
It will sound very strange that how come the child is able to read the big word and is not reading the such words which are, supplementary or associated words like the, on, upon, after, these words don't exist in their cognizance. The issue is when we come to this, that why dyslexia is dyslexic child or child with dyslexia, I should say. The word child is more important than the condition.
Yeah.
So the child with dyslexia is a right-brained person. Okay?
That's our creative side.
That is our creative side or picture side.
Picture side, okay.
Okay. So since their right brain is more active, so if any stimulus is given to them, their right brain immediately takes over. Okay. And makes a picture out of that word. So any word which has a verb or noun will give a picture. Okay. But all other words don't make picture.
Okay.
What is the picture of the? What is the picture of after or before or upon or, under? So sometimes when there's no picture, they will not register it also. So that's why you will say they will register running, sleeping, some picture is there, walking or noun. But rest of the things they will imagine themselves. And then the meaning also get misconstrued. For example, if you are saying horse is running or skipping over the fence, now over word they have not understood. Okay, so they will say horse is skipping, running, sitting under the chair. So it's completely misconstrued and the comprehension is wrong. And once they write or they speak, it will be wrong. So comprehension goes for toss. So this is the thing, like these words are not making any picture in their mind and they skip it. That is one condition. And that's the intervention also. When we teach them how to make picture of these words and register it, that is the intervention. Okay. When we do the therapy, so this is the kind of intervention, because in our education system, we are teaching through sound. Okay.
When you talk about the intervention.
No, not intervention.
Normal. Okay. Words.
Normal teaching is what? A, B, B, singing, nursery rhymes or singing. So a child has to learn things through sound, okay, but not through pictures. So through sound, they don't learn.
Is that an extreme case of dyslexia?
Yes.
This is extreme, where small words are also missed.
Not extreme. Even in milder cases, they will skip.
Oh, they will skip?
Yeah, they will not say the, on, they will skip, or they will read it reverse at times. Reversal are also there. Reversal are not just in M and W. Reversal is also when they are reading the word in reverse order.
Even if it does not make sense, they will be able to pronounce a word with difficult spelling. Ulta.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yes.
Okay.
Like cat, tack.
So but they make the image of the cat.
They may or they may not.
Okay.
If they make an image of the cat, then the teacher will say, okay, you have understood. But if they, muddle it up, then of course they will get 0.
See, condition generally small words happen primary classes like
yes,
first, second, third. But बच्चा third, fourth तक तो कोई कुछ कहता ही नहीं है, कोई भी school.
So you will see most of the parents will say the child is very bright and he was very good up to class 5th. In 6th, we don't know what is happening. He doesn't perform. Earlier, he used to get everything. Now he doesn't do it. That is the mainly. And another thing, why it happens, because they are high IQ and very good mental abilities. So in junior classes, their biggest buddy is their memory.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever the teacher is saying or any tutor is saying, they will memorize it. Okay. So if you are asking, they will be able to repeat it. They are not reading.
So they're not even understanding, but they know specific question, you answer it, and they just repeat it and they get good grades.
Yes. So by 5th or 8th, they will continue with the memory. But memory in later senior classes doesn't support them.
Because application of that learning starts in senior classes.
Because the words, they become too many.
Okay. Also.
In the junior classes, you may be having vocabulary of 100 or 1000. So your memory is supporting. But if you have to read 1 lakh or 10 lakh words, by the time you come in your post-graduation and all, there are unlimited words or even new words which are created because of, then the memory doesn't support. You have to know what is the formula or what is the way this word is to be decoded. So decoding, they don't learn. They just memorize it.
My God.
Okay. So by that time they come in 8th onward, their memory starts, failing or is not a good buddy, and they start making poor performance in the school or in any educational situation. So that is one thing which we call dyslexia, which is a problem of reading or recognition of alphabets, words, you can say. Then the second condition in SLD is dysgraphia, where they are not able to write coherently.
Okay.
So writing problem. Okay.
So they'll be able to read?
They will
they'll be able to.
No problem.
No problem.
Could be. See, any child can have all the 5 conditions. Any child can have 4 conditions.
Okay.
Any child can have 3 or 1.
Ma'am, what are these 5 conditions?
I'm just coming to that. So first is this dyslexia, which is reading problem. Second is dysgraphia, which is a writing problem.
Okay.
Then third is a dyscalculia, which is a calculation problem. Fourth is a ADHD, attention problem. And fifth, a dyspraxia, balance problem.
Human balance. But that goes in another thing, right? It goes
dyspraxia
in like
also, you can say. No, it doesn't go in under.
It comes under the intellectual disabilities.
Under SLD.
SLD, specifically. Okay.
Under SLD. See, you must be knowing in a school sometimes the child who has a dyslexia will be falling very often. So there are few children, jinka skirt or knicker, they will always have red medicine applied in the school on their knee. So every day they go to school, medical room, and some red medicine is applied, and it is always red. They are falling. This is dyspraxia. Another movie, movies are very good in showing these symptoms. What is that movie? Amitabh Bachchan and Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan and Karishma. It's a multi-starrer movie in which Kajol had a very funny character who's just going on falling every time and breaking flower vase.
Achha, right. Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum,
I think. Yeah.
That's a condition.
Yeah. So,
that's what I think was a character.
Because the child is not seeing what is there on one side of the this thing, So, So, such characteristic personalities are there around us.
They're all around us. And they are there, let's not say a child, a person.
Yes, we don't. We know, okay, it's just a personality.
Careless admi.
Yeah, careless admi. But this is neuropath, synchronization, which is not happening. That is dyspraxia and balance. In Tare Zameen Par also they showed that child is not able to catch the ball. Fine, that is also balance. So dyspraxia happens.
उसमें उसको बताया that he could not calculate distance, speed, time and the objects. So that's why. And that is come under?
Your right brain and left brain synchronization. Okay. So so these are dyspraxia thing, and dyspraxia sometimes also affects your writing. So, interventions are there which can be corrected. And I will show you a few examples of, it's so evident, but as a teacher, if we are not aware, we miss. This child is not writing. But if you see their writing, it immediately comes the child has a dysgraphia. Why? They will not be making alphabets of similar size and shape,
Okay.
or writing on a line. Like when we teach writing, we say, okay, 3-line copy or 5-line copy. For Hindi, you use 5-line. For English, we teach in 3-line. What is in the middle, what is up, and what is lower. For any amount of practice, they will not learn. So something like this, it will
it'll go like a graph, upar
niche, or
and words chote bade
chota bada. K is so big, N is, very much chota sa. But the size and shapes are like this only. K, ticks, and you can't read it. So this is a dysgraphia, generally.
Ma'am, so that person who's facing the challenge of dysgraphia, उसके लिए एक लैंग्वेज हो गई इंग्लिश लिखने के लिए, फिर एक हिंदी, और न्यूमेरिकल्स भी एक लैंग्वेज है फिर तो.
Perfect. That's a very good point you have yourself said. See, maths is a language of universe. Fine. So this is a third language. So we are teaching maths. For learning maths, you need to know any one language, Hindi, English, or any other vernacular, and then the language of universe. Okay. And then those sound and shapes and the meaning of those shapes. So learning these symbols is so tough for a right brain child.
The creative side.
Because
the creative
these
child.
symbols are learned in left brain. Okay. So if
these symbols are learnt in the left brain.
Left side.
Left brain is our analytical side.
Logical.
So अगर मैं very simple में कहूँ, your left brain will help you with the subject maths.
No. Okay, let me put it like this. If you can see that one PPT, this thing, if I'm saying the word cat or arm, so is a sound. Fine. Now with this sound, what alphabet comes to your mind? Either A or A, whatever language you are learning. So this is a shape. Fine. Then I say ma, it's a sound. Then again there is a shape, ma or am. Fine. Now, if you write in Hindi, arm, or you write in English, arm. English, of course, will not have a mango, will be, but then the picture will come of a mango or of a arm. So now 3 things are happening. You are listening to a sound. You are associating a symbol with the sound. Then again you are listening a sound, again a symbol.
And the object.
Now these things which are decoding of sound and symbol is happening in your left brain. Okay. Now with decoding of sound, symbol, a picture comes which happens in your right brain. So the neural paths have to connect right and left brain. If this connection is not made, so live sound and symbol will remain here and no concept. Or if you are listening to these sound and symbol, you will forget and only concept will remain because there is no synergy. So right brain has got the mango picture but no sound and symbol.
Okay, so they might just see the mango और कुछ और word बोल देंगे उसको देख के.
जो उनका मर्जी आएगा.
And then they are to quote कि अरे वो आम नहीं है भाई, वो केला नहीं है, आम है. This is really
so
good.
Or so this sound and symbol is in left brain and the picture is in the right brain. That's why and many a times you will say there are many few students say रट्टू तोता है, बिना समझ के लिख तो सब कुछ देता है. Fine. पर उसको समझ कुछ नहीं है बिकॉज लेफ्ट ब्रेन से वर्क कर रहा है और आ गया है पीजी तक, सब कुछ कर लिया है.
PG, post graduate तक.
Yes. Because entire education system is designed for left brain. Our education system is not designed for right brain. Fine. And sometimes those of us or who are lucky to have good parents or good teachers, sometimes we negate or we are able to sustain those negative emotions or negative thoughts and we are able to do something what is creative and we do make our name in creative field. What is in the right brain. And some of us with those frustrating comments, you are buddhu, you are careless, you are dumb.
It's devastating.
We sometimes.
So, dyslexia, alphabets.
Yeah, dysgraphia, dyscalculia.
And dysgraphia is to do with?
Yeah,
words.
Yes.
Hmm.
Writing.
Okay, you can't write dysgraphia.
Yeah. Dysgraphia. Dyscalculia is with maths, calculation. It happens most of the time we come across some students who are very good, who are able to do all in even in university level. But in the paper of statistics or finance, they are failing. But rest all the papers of
maths, they are very good. But the moment it comes to yes, I know.
So they are not able to. I mean, there was a child in Jamia Millia I was teaching earlier. So this girl had appeared 3 times in one paper, and she couldn't clear it. So they gave it to disability professor. You tell us what it is. That professor came to me. I saw the book. I said, this is a dysgraphia. She said, yes, she is a dysgraphic child. So I said, why don't you give exemption? Why are you taking exam in this paper? You should give another subject to her. So then she wrote that recommendation and gave it to examination committee. You should allow her to for another subject and then allow.
This person you said could not do statistics. So I feel wasn't that dyscalculia? But you said dysgraphia.
No, sometimes writing also is showing that is dysgraphia. So either you should give, as per examination provision, a writer who should write or allow oral.
So they are so sharp in their concept that they can say the answer.
Yeah.
But the moment it comes to writing, that a person who has dysgraphia,
they are not able to.
Okay, as you said, उसको आम पता है, but आम लिखना कैसे वो भूल जाएंगे या register नहीं कर पाते.
बिल्कुल.
और dyscalculia, as you said, it's to do with numbers and calculations.
Calculations, yes.
Numbers are fine. They can read 4 and 5, but moment it will come 4 plus 5 divided by 17 into this, will they forget the calculations or they will forget that the board mass has to apply?
See, board mass in any case they will forget.
Achha, they let me
see, what generally happens in the very young age, they will understand the numeral and the number. Okay, numeral is 2, number is quantity. Fine. So maybe this association is created by the teachers or whatever. But again, the symbol is plus. Fine. This plus and multiplication is confusing. So if teacher is saying you multiply or you are doing plus, the child is confused of this symbol meaning in left brain. But they know the answer sometimes. But the symbol they will write or copy it wrongly. But in maths, if you are copying something, next stage, 4 steps or 40 steps in senior classes.
I know.
So you are copying it wrong, and the teacher will not say that your answer is correct. They will say, okay, on this step, this is wrong. So minus and division sign, plus and this sign.
Problem to I remember in our class, and teachers used to see you so careless. ध्यान से करो बेटा. और एक नहीं दो नहीं फेल हो जाता था बच्चा.
यहाँ careless नहीं है, उसका ये न्यूरो पाथ का प्रॉब्लम.
But मैम, okay, careless नहीं है, but careless होते हैं कुछ बच्चे. That's why you said ADHD कब आता है?
ADHD, अच्छा, dyslexia, ADHD, all these conditions. What we are saying, right brain and left brain. That doesn't mean if I am a right brain person, I will bound to have dyslexia or SLD or any of these 5 conditions.
Okay.
Right brain doesn't mean you are bound to be having this. Okay. Now, right brain is a ability. Okay. They are gifted. All CEOs, all ministers, all businessmen, they are all right brain people. That doesn't mean all of them are dyslexic.
What makes you say they are prominently right-brained?
The recipe of becoming a dyslexia is that I have a less threshold of tolerance. Okay. So a symbol or a interpretation or a stimulus is given to me that has gone to my right brain. Fine. It should have come to my left brain in order to recognize it. Now my threshold for tolerance is very low. So rather than trying, when you say try hard, my right brain immediately comes and gives me a picture, whether right or wrong. Fine. But if my threshold is a little higher, but I am a right brain person, I will come back and I will understand it. Okay, so the recipe of being a dyslexic is that my threshold for tolerance of confusion is also low. So in therapy, we also try and create and increase this threshold so that you can sustain a confusion. Okay, so just by saying you be careful, that doesn't mean your threshold increases. Fine. So in order to sustain your confusion, what should I do that, I should be careful? So focus. Yeah. So we give an intervention how you should increase your focus. Okay.
A person who's facing this challenge, usko basically problem ही realize नहीं हो रही है. For his mind, he's doing fine. This is what it is.
उसको नहीं मालूम है.
बार-बार बोलने से, टोकने से, गंदे marks जब आते, don't they reflect that point of time कि, yeah, they just feel what went wrong.
That is the thing, like it is very, very tragic or very sad once you realize that the person you are scolding or you are beating or you are doing anything and the person doesn't know what's wrong. Like, for example, if you don't have your feet and everybody is saying run, who is at fault? The person who doesn't have a feet and is not able to run, or the person who's giving instruction to run? So if you see, okay, this person is not having feet, you have to support or give some other thing for making him to run. Either you will give a wheelchair, you will give a clutches, or you will give a different activity. Isn't it? That's the kind of a thing for dyslexia. Once this realization comes that the child is a dyslexic and I am asking this child to do this, then the parent or teacher, they cry once they realize that what they were doing so far.
So ma'am, just for parents, how should they recognize, very honestly, आज हम जब अपने पेयर्स में भी देखते थे जिसकी मैथ्स वीक है तो उसको टीचर्स यही बोलती थी प्रैक्टिस करो, प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर रहा और फिर भी ठीक नहीं हो रहा, प्रॉबेबली मेहनत नहीं कर रहा है. और अगर इंग्लिश समझ के ही इज नॉट एबल टू आंसर, ही इज नॉट रीडिंग वेल, और उसको सारी चीजें यही याद आती दैट दिस किड इज नॉट वर्किंग हार्ड. इंटेलिजेंस पे कोई पेरेंट्स ना लेते नहीं है इजीली इंडिया में, दे जस्ट फील कीप वर्किंग हार्ड, करोगे हो जाएगा धीरे धीरे. इज इट ट्रू? एंड हाउ डज अ पेरेंट शुड रियली रिकॉग्नाइज कि it requires intervention?
Yes. So the first thing is when a child is making a mistake first time, you just hold on and see what kind of error it is. So error analysis is very important. Okay. Maybe all parents or teachers are not that much competent to understand what is the error. Okay. We give them a discount, no issues. You try second time and third time. And then take back. Just be quiet. Don't push child anymore. After 3 attempts. Okay. That shows that there is something else which is you are not able to catch, and maybe you need intervention or diagnosis.
So, let's say you said 3 attempts or 4 attempts. Something whatever. Like if a child is not doing well in, let's say, subject maths. I'm just saying maths because आज की डेट में ना इंडिया में सबको लगता है वो ही बच्चा इंटेलिजेंट है जिसको मैथ्स, अकाउंटेंसी और ये सारी चीजें आती है, एनालिटिकल जो भी आता है. So attempt क्या होता है? That probably those exams, the final exams.
You are giving some sum in order to do. The child has made a mistake. The answer is not correct or his steps are not correct. Okay. You have seen कि okay, this is the problem, on this step is a problem, or total answer is a problem, or the word answer is a problem. There could be something either of it. Then second attempt. Then again you see the
same problem.
No, either it will be same problem or different problem.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe in the first attempt plus sign was not copied correctly. Second time there's a different problem. That means concept is known. Okay, but there is something else. So here, error is very important to know. Now, if you know this is happening and this is a problem the child is doing, there are 2-3 kinds of intervention which should be given. First, time, more time. Because as we say, the problem is of processing in right brain and left brain. Since it is, maybe the path is not created, so the child takes little more time to process.
So at this stage the child should be doing कि Go slow.
Go slow.
Don't worry about the
Don't
time,
worry
but
about
try to get it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. So that's why there is a 1 hour extra in 3-hour paper also in examination.
In the in a CBSE system.
In all boards.
In all boards.
Okay. So this process, because they know there's a problem of left-right brain alignment, so there is an extra time given. So if you see the problem, one time problem was this, second time problem is this, you can say it is a problem of processing. Fine. Now you see the first time the same problem, second time is also the same problem. Okay, the plus sign is being misconstrued or not being copied. That means the symbol recognition of that function sign of maths is not known to the child.
तो यहाँ पे dysgraphia भी आ जाता है.
Dysgraphia नहीं आता, यहाँ पे symbol connection with the concept आता है.
Okay.
So now that connection of symbol with the concept needs to be strengthened, and that will not be strengthened by oral instruction, because if you think that oral instruction was the way, but here the child could be dyslexic, so here you should give concretized or kinesthetic or visual intervention to make that concept, strengthen. So that is the kind of a thing when you see where the child is.
Because dyslexia is very common. You can make out that there is what visible problem is dyslexia?
No, that's the problem. Dyslexia is an invisible condition. Now you are such a smart person, but you could be dyslexic. Or if you see me, somebody says I am a dyslexic disability, what rubbish. It's like taking advantage of something. But you could be dyslexic, or I could be dyslexic, because it's invisible. But if I don't have eyes, if I don't have hand, it is visible. Everybody will know, fine, I need some support. But dyslexic is a smart, shining, intelligent, very, good looking people.
Achha, good looking also?
Well, good looking means
they are bright.
That bright, aura. And generally because of that they get, अच्छा और चीजें तो बहुत समझ में आती हैं, यही नहीं आता, देख थप्पड़. Fine. So that is a problem. The child is very smart. Because comprehension or IQ is very high.
So ma'am, what is IQ? Intelligent quotient कहते हैं आज हम IQ को.
Yes.
और जब एक IQ इतना अच्छा है एक बच्चे का, it's expected IQ अच्छा है तो थोड़ी मेहनत कर, दिमाग लगा, ये भी ठीक हो जाएगा.
नहीं होता ना.
नहीं होता नहीं, वो अलग बात है. But this is what everyone expects.
Actually, because of this, they have put SLD, autism, and IQ problem in one category in RPwD, which is an intellectual disability. So clubbing these three, there's a group which say this shouldn't have been done, because IQ problem is a different kind of a problem. You cannot really increase the IQ. If somebody is less than 70, then it's very difficult to educate them, to go further even in RPwD, they have a right up to class 8th to remain in the school.
Okay.
Up to IQ. If they are intellectually disabled, which earlier the term was mentally retarded. The person who's having less than 70 IQ. Okay. But dyslexia and autism is IQ is high, performance is low. So here, if this thing is established that my IQ is 120 or 140 or 100, which is an average or above average IQ, but my performance is less than the mean of the class. That means I am dyslexic. That means I could be having cognition processing problem, not the cognition problem. Okay. So MR, which is earlier term, but today we call it intellectual disability, which is an IQ problem. So generally for IQ, we give life skill training or up to class 8. There are some children who are, it's a testing problem also. At times we don't know whether the IQ test was correct or not. So the IQ is 70, but child has done up to class 10th or something. But generally in academic researches, it is said if the IQ is 70, you can go up to class 8. And your entitlement or your right is also up to class 8. But for all other disabilities, on account of that disability, your admission is not denied. Okay?
It's a right.
It's a right.
RPwD, which really means right of person with disability. Right?
And all the 21 disabilities, they have a right for pursuing their education beyond 10th, 12th.
And they have a quota for this.
They have a quota.
They have a quota.
5% reservation in higher education.
Beautiful.
Still, we are not getting. It's only 1% people who are enrolled in higher education institutions with disability.
Because they do not have the right support system.
They don't come even from a school level. See, our society was so stigmatized that many disabled, which is visible disability, in villages or interiors, they don't even bring them out in the society. They close them in a house in one room and they just keep them there. We don't have a census data of 21 census.
It is so sad. It's like torturing already a tortured child. बेचारा जो खुद हुआ है. But ma'am, जैसे मैं कह रहा था, you know, I mean, as you said in the beginning, that generally these conditions come along with another problem like ADHD, or they sometimes come together as a group.
Yes.
जब ADHD problem आती है, which is simply attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. The child would be restless, child would have problems in focus. So for that parent, and today we blame the social media, कि पूरा time तो दिमाग वहाँ लगा रहता है, you know, how will you trip? And that is actually reducing, you know, that focus ability is reducing because आज की डेट में एक रील इंटरेस्टिंग तब बनती है जब उसमें कम से कम 15-20 ट्रांजिशन हो within that first 60 seconds. And उसके बिना तो person does not even want to carry forward to 1 minute. It's so difficult. So वो attention की problem parent के दिमाग में तो ही रहेगा ना कि तुम focus नहीं कर रहे इसलिए पढ़ाई अच्छी नहीं हो रही. I mean, there's so many of our peer and our friend circle, we talk about the same thing. कि पढ़ाई तो अच्छी तब करेगा जब focus होगा. But then that child might be struggling from an ADHD along with any of the three, dyslexia, dyscalculia or dysgraphia. So वो बेचारे parent की क्या गलती? How will he come to know? Attention तो सच्ची में नहीं बच्चे के.
हाँ, so इसीलिए जो हमारा Indian knowledge system है, उसमें हम स्थिरता की बात करते हैं, स्थिर mind. So you should be able to sit quietly at one place with the closed eye. So if a child is having ADHD, you will see the symptoms even when the child is 2-year-old or 3-year-old. Okay. So if you ask the child to close the eyes and sit, the child will not close.
And not even close the eyes?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that symptom is visible even in that young age. So closing the eyes and sitting even for half a minute, they will not do it. So like I have my grandchild.
And, वो बच्चा तो डांट खाएगा ही.
So I mean, of course the boys are, I mean, generally think that they are naughty and all, and you know, jumping all over the place. So my daughter used to be very upset that, you know, how to control this boy. And I said, okay, let's sit, all of us sit, you know, for half a minute, just close eyes. And this boy will not close the eyes.
How old was he?
Was 3-year-old or something.
So is it expected वो 3 साल का बच्चा ये करे?
वो ADHD के साइन दिखा रहा है अभी से.
अच्छा वो दिखा रहा है, okay.
दिखा रहा है वो ADHD के साइन. So now as I mean, I taught.
और अगर उस बच्चे को strictly डांट के बोला जाए and from
useless.
नहीं सुनेगा वो.
नहीं उसको see what we are doing, we are.
No, I am coming from a normal family. वो यही करेगी.
हाँ, अगर बोला नहीं करना.
अच्छा वो नहीं करेगा.
वो नहीं करना है as a parent.
मैम वो सेकेंडरी है, that's an intervention. I'm talking about उसको डांट के वो सुनेगा, डर के मारे सुनेगा?
नहीं सुनेगा, वो कर ही नहीं सकता.
अच्छा वो कर ही, so then you can recognize.
वो कर ही नहीं सकता, डांट के भी नहीं करेगा. और आप डांटते रहोगे, जो आपने कहा कि उसके साथ उसकी कोमॉर्बिड कंडीशन होगी, उसे आप बार बार डांटोगे, थप्पड़ भी मार दोगे, उसके निगेटिव इमोशंस आ जाएंगे, फ्रस्ट्रेशन आ जाएगा. He will feel I am less, I am useless. People don't love me, my mother doesn't love me, my father doesn't love me, and he will have inferiority complex starting from that. But he is not able to sit because it's a processing problem. So you will see those symptoms very early, even in 2-year-old or 3-year-old. So once you are seeing that, that's why we say ki start teaching breathing exercises, you know. Take it from one eye, nostril and
alternate breath or anulom vilom जिसको हम कहते हैं.
So if a child is able to do it for 5 anulom vilom and able to sit slowly, what I said, threshold of confusion will start building.
So this is one of the therapies. Anulom Vilom.
Yes, it's one of the therapy, vernacular therapy. And in Western therapy, which I do, Ronda Visca, in that also we teach. So when we are saying the focus is not there, focus, in order to increase focus, we have to increase their threshold for confusion. And in order to increase the threshold of confusion, we have to make them sit at one place. And in order to make them sit at one place, the breathing exercise helps.
Yeah, and because there's an activity going on in Anulom Vilom, I mean, I constantly do that in yoga.
Anulom Vilom is helping right brain to align with left brain and left brain with the right.
It's a scientific...
just thing, yeah.
Oh, really? When you inhale from the left nostril, it affects the right side of the brain.
Yes, and when you exhale from the other side. So you are making our neurons work together and creating the synergy. So it is scientifically proven. And it's a vernacular therapy. Though it is not IPR, like I am a US licensed therapist for dyslexia, which is a Ron Davis method, which is a IPR done. In India, our yoga and all, we have not done any IPR, and we have not done, systematic way, this is the thing. But I generally tell people, if they come to me, do this to begin.
This helps in the entire SLD framework.
Yes.
This is one of the very important exercises.
Yes.
If anybody just sees this also, attention, which is such a big problem, Anulom Vilom can really help.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, ADHD, very easily recognizable. But problem, I would say a problem like dyscalculia. I think 5th, 6th तक पता भी नहीं चलता because memory is playing such a big role. और जब वो 10th तक बच्चा पहुंच जाता है, when the application actually starts, isn't it very late for the child now? What happens at that point of time? मतलब he's going to choose his career options और probably बच्चा 11th में है और तब पता चल रहा है कि इसको तो वो mathematical concepts register ही नहीं होते हैं.
Yes, it is little
So
late.
is it better to remove all those subjects which trouble her?
Not really.
No, if the child is struggling with maths and as you said dyscalculia.
See, if the exam has come, so certainly the child will fail. Okay, practically. If you are recognizing in February or January and exam is March, so you have very little time for interventions and the child will fail. But all examination systems, they give you a chance to reappear after 6 months. Okay. And maths is a subject which doesn't require practicals. So even if it's not a practical subject. So no board says you can't come and do it, So sometimes people come for counseling and say, which subject should we take? I said, take practical subjects and language and maths. You can do it sitting at home or through private tuition. And in your form, you can fill minimum of 5. Maximum can go up to any number. There's no board which says any limit to maximum. Okay, so minimum 5 you take. And then maths and other subjects you take as a 6th or 7th subject and all. And then you do it. Because if you want to pursue that particular course where maths is required, maybe you want to do computer science or some, aeronautical or whatever. You want to become a pilot or something. And for that, you need these subjects to do BSc. So there are ways to manipulate the system and go ahead and do it. But don't leave your dreams.
Don't leave your dreams.
Yeah, that is what, but
wouldn't it be such a big struggle for the child? वो dream कहाँ से बनेगा if he's constantly struggling? और मैं उस बच्चे की बात कर रहा हूँ मैम जिसको family gives up कि नहीं आती maths, what can we do? Doctor पे गए नहीं समझाने, and the peers, the teachers and everything, वही उसको तू weak है, तू ये है, तू बेवकूफ है, तेको इतनी छोटी सी चीज नहीं आती, वो ताने and those kind of
Yes, that's why we say that emotional disturbance is comorbid condition with dyslexia. Because if a child is dyslexic or dyscalculic or dysgraphic, they get so many negative comments that they feel frustrated and they feel inferiority, and inferiority is a mother of all kinds of mental health problems or emotional
And they start
problems.
performing bad and वो dreams वगैरह सारे वहीं हो जाते.
So if you are aware parent or if you are aware teacher and you know that this is a dyscalculic child, you should start first accept this condition yourself and then start giving such examples and stories that how people have overcome this.
So ma'am, the way you narrated your own story, and you're a well-educated person, आप खुद teacher थे, you recognize the problem and going against the societal norms at that point of time, you took that extra step, and today your daughter is doing so beautifully, following her passion. I want to share a list of few names which came out of your presentation, and I did some research on these beautiful, fascinating names. और अगर right time पर intervention और एक support system बाहर से मिले, the very fact the child or the person realizes his problems and he creates his own support system, as you were saying, what they can do. Okay, so these are a few names, and most of them are historical figures, and it's been well documented trait and lifelong struggles that they had to go through. So first is Richard Branson. He's the founder of the Virgin Atlantic Group. He's publicly acknowledged himself that he struggles with reading, he struggles with spelling, and always throughout he struggled with his formal schooling. But today, if you see, his strengths were he has very strong verbal skills. He is a big picture thinking and entrepreneurship. And what he did was, jahan pe bhi uski weaknesses thi, he made his teams. Because he was verbally so strong, he created good relations with people who could take care of the other things. Richard Branson, we all know. Then is Tom Cruise. Again, he's one of the most dynamic actors and so creative. Again, publicly उसने बताया हुआ that he has severe reading difficulties and he struggled academically. Difficulty in reading scripts early in the career. A person who could not read the scripts. So what he did was he developed strong memorization and auditory learning skills. So what he used to do is his scripts were always, he used to hear his scripts and that's how he used to learn. Again, as you said,
memory.
The buddy. Yeah. He made the right tool his buddy. Agatha Christie, again, best-selling mystery novelist. She learned to read much later than her peers, and she struggled with reading, spelling, and formal writing as a child. And she still could not write. So everything what she imagined, she started dictating. And somebody used to write for her. And that's how she wrote her novels.
Yes.
And people would not know that, and people have heard of people like Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, then there's Henry Ford, who created the Ford Motor Group. And one of the most interesting names is Walt Disney. आज हम Walt Disney movies देखते हैं, theme parks देखते हैं. And he was such a creative person because of his imagination.
Yes.
And again, he was highly imaginative. He was a visual thinker. Creativity thrived outside conventional classroom. So I'm sure at this point of time, these people really did not have support in terms of therapies, but they somehow recognized their problems. And the passion for the dreams was so strong that they somehow managed and learned how to overcome their shortcomings. So really, so aaj, seeing these names, families and parents should really not lose hope. It's just that they need right intervention. What are the various steps? The moment you realize कि बच्चे में जैसे आप बता रहे थे, कि अगर same mistakes कर रहा है, सब कुछ है, सबसे पहली चीज क्या करनी चाहिए?
So, सबसे पहले तो you got to recognize the symptoms. Okay. So there is a screening test, which is now standardized. Earlier, it was not standardized. It was just here and there or sporadic. So today, like NCERT is our academic institution in the country. So they have published a document called Prashast.
Okay.
Okay. So it is there on the website and it is there in the hands of most of the teachers or in all the teachers as per policy.
It's like a mandate that everyone should know.
It should.
Private, public, both schools.
Both schools. So Prashast is there and all 21 disabilities symptoms are written there. Okay. So this first stage is for teachers and parents to see whether the child is doing this or this, just checklist.
So
yes
you're saying agar thoda sa bhi shak ho, very important to go this document Prashast and see
where it is happening.
Oh, you put a self.
Self.
The parent can do
parent or teacher, or even the person, if the person is in
adult
senior
enough.
Secondary enough, or they can do it.
Okay.
So this pressure has two phases or two parts. One is just finding out okay, what is there. You can say preliminary, primary kind of thing. Then secondary, that more detailed. Okay, if you see I am autistic or I am SLD, then there is a second part. Then again you check that. Once you feel ki yes, it's coming, screening is showing that I have this, then one has to go to diagnosis. Okay, so Ministry of Health has.
So, ma'am, first step, pressures will tell you that there is a disorder, a disability, which detail nahi pata.
No,
okay.
We will not even call it disability. We will call it an issue.
Okay, there is an issue.
Okay, there are some things. Okay, out of 5, I am able to do 3, or I am not ticking mark. So I
ultimately niche score aa jayega ki this is it. You need diagnosis.
So it's a screening tool. Okay, after screening, one should go for diagnosis, which is a medical diagnosis. Okay. So this diagnosis is to be done as per Rehabilitation Council of India registered practitioners or through MCI, clinical psychologist. They have prescribed test, which is an enhanced battery. Okay. Earlier we had other tests also, SNDT or DALI and these, but now it is a prescribed test, which is an enhanced battery. So a clinical psychologist will administer this battery. The word is battery. Generally for psychological tests, the word is battery. So they will administer, and if it comes yes, they say it's a dyslexia. Okay, because in RPwD Act, generally disability is measured in number. So if you are less than 40, they don't call it disability. So it is a special needs kind of a thing. If it is 40 to 80, then it is a benchmark disability, and 80 and above, it is a severe disability. But it is easier to measure in numbers if it is any other physical disability. But in case of SLD, there is no 40%, 60% or 50%. Okay, so either it is a yes or no. So in an enhance, if it comes yes, that means you are 40 and above. So you need intervention or all whatever. So if the child is less than 16, then they have to repeat the test after 16 to get a disability certificate for life. Because this condition is not something which will change. It's a structure. So you get a permanent disability certificate for your other benefits and all, whatever.
So first is screening, ma'am. Then comes the diagnosis, और उसमें हमें एक certification मिलती है और एक report मिलती है.
एक report मिलती है. Both are important. Right? Certification is important for facilities. Okay, you have, if you need to get some facilities or something, reservation or anything or knowing.
So but facilities में क्या क्या था मैम? Reservation तो हो गई एक.
See, reservation for academic admission, reservation for jobs, reservation for government schemes.
And जब मैं स्कूल में हूँ तो मुझे सर्टिफिकेशन से क्या बेनिफिट होगा?
आपको एग्जाम में एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मिलेगा, आपको कैलकुलेटर मिलेगा, आपको राइटर मिलेगा,
स्क्राइबर जो कहते हैं,
स्क्राइबर मिलेगा, and you can get exemption from third language. You get change of subjects.
Okay.
So these are few exemptions which are there. So if you don't have a certificate, these things can't be done. Then also government gives 3,000 rupees per child for system level functionaries to create resources in the resource room. If there is a school, they say we have 100 such children, they will give 100 into 3,000 and they can create apps, IT, ICT, there are so many ICT apps for their education. So these kind of things are required if the certification is there. The report helps us to understand which are more severe, mild or less in the 5 conditions. And in the report, the clinical psychologist will also recommend this child should be given these exemptions.
Okay.
Fine. So report is an important part of diagnosis. Now, the child will not be helped just by that, So when I said in that they are written, okay, these provisions or exemptions should be given, that should also has to be asked from the system that you should give us. But before we give that exemption, which are in exam, these exemptions are also in learning strategies, which many parents, they miss.
Okay.
Fine, the child is there and child is made to sit or perform as anybody else is doing. So they don't ask that, okay, I need to learn through visual method. So I should not be given only oral instruction. Okay. Or I need to learn through kinetic methods. So that's why that report is very important. And this right is also there.
Wow.
To get those strategies. Or I need to use an app which can convert text into a picture. Nowadays we have those ICT, text. Or I need to have an app which can read it aloud for me. Text to speech.
Text to speech.
Or I need to have a speech to text. Or I need to have an app which can correct my spellings.
Oh, okay.
So there is spell correction also. So
you can use that app during your exams.
During your not only just exam.
Learning also.
Learning also.
Beautiful.
So this is what, once you have done a screening, you have done a diagnosis. Now ask for interventions during learning. Okay. All the apps which are visual or kinesthetic for you. Then ask for provisions in your exams. Fine. So if you don't do all this, your performance will not be as per your potential. Okay. The studies have shown that if a child gets these things or doesn't get these provisions, their performance score is enhanced by 2 sigma in the class, 2 sigma means mean. If the average is this, the difference in mean and this thing,
it's 2 sigma
performance. So there are few examining bodies, either they give these provisions, even competitive examination, or if they have not been able to give, they increase your score by 2 sigma. This is as per the policy. And as everybody now understand that autism and SLD are strategic planner, they are right brain people. They are
strategic planners.
They are strategic planners.
Okay.
They can see the whole
picture.
Yeah. So many intelligence agencies, they appoint them, so that they can do better planning, strategic planning. They advertise that you should.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they advertise that you should be dyslexic or autistic for this job.
So generally when you talk about an entrepreneur who needs to look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
So they are generally right brain person.
Right brain people. And they are high achievers. So, for schooling or systems, our role comes in screening. Diagnostic again is a medical. Then interventions. So at present, our teachers are not really trained for interventions, for teaching.
So you
learning.
need outside help beyond the school.
Beyond the school at present. If my child is there, like I said, we did everything because my teachers are not there. But again, the examining bodies have made policies and they are giving facility during exam. But during classroom, in one or that is still not.
But you have beautiful apps now and technology. If you take advantage of technology, as you said, auditory aa gayi, speech to text, text to speech, visual.
Yeah.
आप एक कमांड दो पूरा माइंड मैप बन सकता है चैप्टर का.
Yeah, like ChatGPT. If you want, you ask ChatGPT, give me a picture what they are saying. You don't want to read so much. So
this, once he's been diagnosed, the child, he can do this himself also now.
Himself also.
We're living in beautiful times.
Yeah, like in my case, I used to make mind map. And I remember when my senior asked me, what did you do this Sunday? I said, the whole Sunday went in creating a mind map of a history chapter, which was of 20 pages. And I did 1 page because mind map means 1 page and all picture. So, but today you have ChatGPT, which can simply give you.
Beautiful.
Or highlight main things. These are the special education thing you highlight or give the key concepts. So today the AI is helping a lot in doing that.
So, bas intervention, and then these are the 4 things which you need to take care of.
Yes.
And once they become tools for you,
then they are not only helping themselves, actually they are helping society to grow, because the strategic thinking what they have, they can only change the society what it needs to develop. Otherwise we will be just following the path, we're copying the path. So these are the potential which we were throwing out of the system or from the society.
Today they are required in the system.
If we want to develop or we want to bring change, it is.
So would I be right in saying with this advent of this technology coming to the level of artificial intelligence, that analytical side is being taken care by the computer and machines now?
True.
And this is where you require the right side brain people, where how to apply all that knowledge.
True.
So it's becoming a beautiful life for them, because abhi tak jahan wo struggle kar rahe the, they have tools which they can carry on their phone or in their hand, you know.
True.
Oh, beautiful.
Like in my times when computer wasn't there and I was doing PhD, I used to calculate sheets and sheet chi-square and frequencies, you know, it used to take me months. Today it is done in jiffy. You don't have to. So anything which is just routine, that task is being taken by AI and computers. Only critical, analytical, and new thoughts you can always do, and that is their
strength.
Plus point. Yeah, that's their plus point.
So really, the moment a parent realizes that, you know, there's a slight issue, as we said, then firstly don't focus on their weaknesses, you know, कि उसको ही सिखाना है. आज की डेट में जैसे as I said कि maths is such a big question कि मेरे बच्चे को maths अच्छे आते हैं, the parent is so satisfied. Oh, my child is intelligent. But they're measuring intelligence from a very microscopic view, you know, when they're talking about one subject. And when we hear these stories and everything, that, you know, even that child is gifted who has a right brain side.
That is the sad part. The child is gifted, but we are treating him or her as a, you know, duffer. So that is the saddest story about SLD. They are the gifted children. And that's the book Gift of Dyslexia by Ron Davis. He himself was dyslexic.
Okay.
And he learned, I think, reading at the age of 36. So he was, you know, I mean, his story is really bad because he was mocked or, you know, even by his own brothers. And he used to just play in the garden, his garden, and only mother was a support. And he was sent to a mechanical, technical thing, and he learned motors. And he is the very richest person, and is he's a owner of industries, and he is the founder of dyslexia therapy. I mean, what kind of a brain and how he was not really understood. So there's a story. I mean, you can find Ron Davis.
You also mentioned in the beginning, I'm just adding on to it, that these children are very beautiful. I mean, nature में भी कुछ होता है या it just crushes inferiority complex and people का expectations out of them. What do you mean by these children are very beautiful?
These children are, as I said, right brain people, very, very perceptual and imaginative. They are not manipulative. They cannot speak lies.
They can't talk lies. They will fail, but they will not cheat.
They will not cheat. And that's why having a dyslexic child is a boon to parents, because they have got a beautiful child who has a very good heart. They are not street smart, because they will never be bad to anybody, not only parents. So you should be that sure that this child is a beautiful gift from the God which has come in my life. And they are very kind. Like all those, qualities of right brain are there. They are not manipulative. They can't speak lies. They will not do all these things. So they are extremely good human beings.
So sometimes just to encourage children, when a parent does not know and they keep goals कि okay, if you do this, इतने marks लाओगे और यहाँ पे आप पहुँच जाओगे, या आपको iPhone मिलेगा और this मिलेगा, वो बच्चा try तो करता है, वो पहुँच नहीं पाता और फिर उसका वो goal achieve नहीं होता. So is it wrong from the side of parents? कि goals नहीं रखने चाहिए because disheartened तो होता है बच्चा.
No. See, goal रखना एक motivation strategy है.
अच्छा, that
is okay. So even with dyslexic child, when I'm saying we have to increase their threshold, we do keep goals.
Okay, we keep goals. Okay.
So that they are striving. So goal, that is a motivational strategy, nothing else. So they know, okay, I have to do this, or in calendar mark that you have done this today. Like if you are keeping a goal, you should do 5 times pranayam or sit 5 times just still. If they have been able to do, reward them. So that is okay. So there's no harm in keeping a goal or motivating them or giving a reward. Or rather, rewarding is good.
Rewarding is good?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, just one last advice to all the parents, to all the teachers, how to really treat these children and, and come out of that shackles of societal stigma and etc. and understand that these children are really gifted. One last piece of advice for everyone from your side.
See, when we, as a parent, we got to change our lens. Sometimes we only see things from our perspective or how we grew, fine, or how we were treated. So parenting is the easiest job on this earth. Anybody can become a parent without learning anything. So if we have become parents, we got to see everything new, how this child is doing what and why the other thing is not being done, and whether we need to force that kind of a thing or we can do without it. So for example, if a child is not learning nursery rhymes and a mother is perturbed that why this child is not reciting a nursery rhyme, whereas my sister's son or my neighbor's son or daughter is doing that. And the mother or father are perturbed that, okay, child is not singing nursery rhyme or not learning, and thinking that, okay, the child is a stupid. No, you just hold on, take a back seat and say why. First, whether nursery rhyme should be learned first, yes or no. Second, if it is to be learned, what is the mechanism of learning? Third, what is in this child that this child couldn't pick up which others could pick? Okay. So then if these 3 things are sorted in the mind of the parent, then the child's growth is certainly, certain, and it won't affect. First thing I will like a message. The mother of all evil is inferiority complex. Even that our education system gives by passing or failing. Because once I fail, that means I am inferior. Okay, I'm less. So this feeling you should not give to your child that you are less. Just avoid that feeling. If the child feels I am fine, others are also fine, I am also fine. And whether I need to do it or not, so that's all. So just remove inferiority from the rearing up practices.
Okay. So just last one thing which I wanted to read out for everyone. Most of us, we don't even know this topic, but it's not just about compassion, but it's actually a right which the government has created. And I want to read out what I researched on the net. So firstly, it says that these children are not slow learners. They are different learners, right? And the RPwD Act of 2016, which is simply the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act of 2016, is a landmark Indian law replacing the 1995 Act to ensure dignity, equality, and inclusion for disabled persons by expanding disability categories from 7 to 21 categories, which mandates accessibility, reserving seats in education, jobs, and promoting full societal participation. So what it does is it shifts from a welfare to a right-based model, emphasizing autonomy, non-discrimination, and equal opportunity for citizens with diverse disabilities. So that's how it's being recognized now. And, really every parent should understand, as ma'am was saying, that you're gifted if you have a child. It's not a disability. It's just that they are right brain. They're more creative.
Yeah. It's just a term. It's just a term that we are expressing this condition as a disability, because we don't have any other word, a better word you can say. Because this approach or this theory gave us that we need to provide a facilitation so that a person can do those functions which are required. Fine. So once we say that freedom to do those functions, which the freedom to do function is a capability. Okay.
Yeah.
So freedom to do function is a capability, and that is what education system should provide. Now, if I don't have limbs, lower limbs, and I'm supposed to climb or run, then it is the duty of the system to provide me with artificial limbs or wheelchair so that I can run and participate in a particular game. If I am having a problem in my ears or listening and I am supposed to grab that, then it is the duty of the system to give me those apps and ICT so that I can do that function. That is the now policy or legal right by which we are changing the paradigm or the variables of our education system, where we are saying equity, or it doesn't mean just giving admission. Equity means giving all those pedagogical interventions so that a child is able to perform those functions and achieve an outcome also. So they are able to pass or, come out of that education program what they are meant. So that is a changing scene after RPwD Act.
So thank you so much for coming and taking out time. And I know you have to rush back to your college. So, really with the profound knowledge, her experience and her research on this subject. So if you found this episode insightful, informative, really do share it with someone, any person you think who needs to just hear about it. Because awareness is so important, because it's our awareness which precedes change. Thank you.